Good morning children and welcome back to your chemistry class. So today we are going to talk about hybridization. Before I begin to explain hybridization, let us understand what does it mean. Let us understand the definition of hybridization, right? So the process of mixing of atomic orbitals of nearly same energy and form a new set of equivalent orbitals. This is termed as hybridization. Okay, I repeat once again, the process of mixing the atomic orbitals of nearly same energy and they form entirely new orbitals with the same energy, identical shape and symmetrical orientation in the space. Then they are termed as hybridization, right? And remember, it is a hypothetical concept. So I'll write down the definition over here, that the process of mixing of atomic orbitals of nearly same energy to form a set of new equivalent orbitals. Okay, new equivalent orbitals. Now these new equivalent orbitals, they are also going to have same energy, identical shape and symmetrical orientation in the space, right? This is termed as set of new is termed as hybridization. I hope the definition is clear to you. Now let us understand some characteristics of hybridization. This is important to be understood. So the first point, orbitals of one and the same atom, they participate in the hybridization. That is, these orbitals, they may be full-filled, half-filled, or they could be even vacant. So the first point, what did I say? That orbitals of one and the same atom participate in hybridization. Okay, so these orbitals, what did I say, may be full-filled, half-filled, or even they could be vacant. Okay. Second important point, the orbitals that undergo hybridization, they should have nearly same energy. Okay, as I told you in the definition also, set of atomic orbitals of nearly same energy should combine together. So the orbitals undergoing hybridization should have nearly same energy. I hope these 2 points are clear. Now let's talk about the third point. The hybrid orbitals, they have definite shape and energy. See, and they form a set of new equivalent orbitals. So what did I tell you about new equivalent orbitals? These new equivalent orbitals, they are also having same energy, identical shape and symmetrical orientation in the space. So this is what I meant over here, that the hybrid orbital have definite shape and energy, right? Fourth point, it is the orbitals that undergo orientation. It is not the electrons, okay? So over here, orbitals undergo hybridization, not electrons, right? Then the fifth point regarding this, the hybrid orbitals, they only form the sigma bond, they do not form the pi bonds, okay? So the hybrid orbitals only form the sigma bonds, they do not form the pi bonds, right? These points are clear? Okay, then that is the sixth one. The number of hybrid orbitals formed, it is always equal to the total number of atomic orbitals taking part in the hybridization, okay? So number of hybrid orbitals formed is always equal to the total number of atomic orbitals taking part in hybridization. Clear? Then the hybrid orbitals, they are directed in the space in a definite direction and they have minimum repulsion between the electron pairs. So the hybrid orbitals are directed in space, that is the orientation in space I am talking about, right? There is symmetrical orientation in space is in definite direction to have minimum repulsion between the electron pairs. And the last point, the bond length, it always decreases while the bond energy, it always increases with the increase in the S character of the hybrid orbitals, okay? So bond length decreases while bond energy that increases with increase in the S character of the hybrid orbitals. So are the characteristics of hybridization clear to you? Then let us begin with the different types of hybridizations, right? So let's talk about sp hybridization. So it involves a mixing of one s and one p orbital and it results in the formation of two equivalent sp hybrid orbitals and which are oriented in a straight line with a bond angle of 180 degrees. Okay, So sp hybridization, it involves what? It involves the mixing of one s and one p orbital, and it results in the formation of two sp hybrid orbitals. Is that clear to you? So each hybrid orbital, it has 50% character is your S and 50% is your P character. 50% is my S character here, okay, and 50% we find the P character over here, right? So the two sp hybrid orbitals, they point in the opposite directions along with the axis, with a bigger positive lobe and smaller is the negative lobe. Bigger is the positive lobe and smaller will be your negative lobe, right? So to show it to you, let me draw and show over here. So this is the bigger lobe, right? And the smaller lobe, and it forms a linear structure, and the angle is how much? 180 degrees Celsius, right? Some examples are like beryllium fluoride or beryllium chloride or even C2H2, etc. Right? So let us study one of the examples in detail over here. So let us take an example of beryllium fluoride molecule. Okay, so we know over here that beryllium atom, it has, its configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2, right? Now since there is no unpaired electron in the valence shell, it cannot form any covalent bond. Thus this 2s orbital, it is first unpaired and an electron, it is then shifted to 2p orbital. So let's see that. So if you look at the ground state of beryllium atom, what did I say? 1s2, 2s2. So I'll take up this one, 2s and 2p. So 2s, 2s2. This is what we actually see at the ground state, right? In the excited state, what we are going to see, that the 2s orbital will be unpaired and it is going to shift where? To the 2p orbital. So this is your 2s, this is your 2p. So here is one and here is one. So what did we see here? One S and one P. One can be drawn like this. So one S and one P, they form your sp hybridization. Clear? Now there is hybridization between one S and one p orbital, as I had told you earlier. Now two orbitals of same shape and same energy, they come into existence in the opposite directions, as I have shown you over here. Just now I'll draw it for this compound also. So these, they overlap with the p orbital, right? And each of the fluorine atom, it is going to form two sigma bonds. So let us see this, how it is going to form. So firstly we will see for the beryllium over here. You will see my drawing will not be very good, but try to understand. What is this? This is beryllium fluoride Okay, so this is how they form. This is one fluorine atom, this is another fluorine atom. Okay, so what did we see over here? That the hybridization is taking place between 1s and 1p, and the two orbitals of the same shape and energy, they come into existence in the opposite directions, and they overlap with the p orbital. Each of the two fluorine atoms, they form two sigma bonds, right? And the molecule formed will be a linear structure like this with a bond angle of 180 degree, right? The formation of these linear molecules, as we have already seen, where all do we find? We can find it in beryllium chloride also. You can also take an example of zinc chloride or mercury chloride also. All these compounds, they show us sp hybridization. Clear? Then next one, let's see sp2 hybridization. So in sp2 hybridization, it involves mixing of one s orbital and two p orbitals, right? And they result in the formation of three equivalent sp2 hybrid orbitals, right? Over here, each sp2 hybrid orbital, it has around 33.3% of the s character. Okay, then it has 66.7% of the p character, right? So all the three hybrid orbitals, they are present in the same plane, and there is an equal of 120 degree between the two orbitals. And this arrangement, it is going to show you over here as a trigonal planar arrangement. Okay, what kind of arrangement are you going to observe in this sp2 hybridization? Trigonal planar arrangement. And the molecule showing all this sp2 hybridization of the central atom, they will have the geometry what? Trigonal planar arrangement. And example could be like boron fluoride. So let's take an example of boron fluoride and make you understand over here. So let's see the ground state of boron. Boron atomic number is 5. Okay, so I write over here ground state. Try to understand this. So if we configure boron with atomic number 5, what are we going to get? 1s2, 2s2, 2p1, right? So 1s2, 2s2, 2p. So this is 1s, 2s, 2p. So it was 1s2, 2s2, 2p. This gives you 5, right? Now in the excited state, what are we going to observe? Let's see that also. And then we decide whether we get sp2 hybridization over here or not. So over here, this electron is going to jump to the next orbital, that is in the p orbital. So over here, right? So now check this block and this block. sp2. This gives you sp2 hybridization. Clear? Now, the figure that is going to be formed, or the orientation of the three sp2 hybrid orbitals, will be something like this. Okay, and as I said, the angle will be 120 degrees for all the three. Is that clear to all of you? So this is going to show you, this is the orientation of the three sp2 hybridized orbitals, right? So now let's take an example for boron fluoride. How are we going to form it? Remember over here that the three hybrid orbitals, they overlap where? With the three or p orbitals from three fluorine atoms, and they form 3 sigma bonds, right? And the molecule formed will always be trigonal and planar, or we also say it as trigonal planar arrangement it is going to show us. So let us see the structure of boron fluoride over here. So let me draw. Right, then fluoride, one goes up. So okay, and one is this side. Okay, so this is your fluorine and this is your boron, right? And if you see the filling of the orbitals, clear? So what do we see over here? That if you, this is the structure of it, and if this is boron, these are the fluorine atoms, then what angle are they forming? They are forming 120 degrees on all the sides. Sorry, 120 degrees. So over here you will find the three hybrid orbitals which are all 120 degrees apart. Fine. So this was your sp2 hybridization. Now let us see sp3 hybridization. It involves mixing of one s and 3 p orbitals, resulting in the formation of how many? 3 plus 1? 4 equivalent sp3 hybrid orbits, right? So each sp3 orbit hybrid orbital, it has around 25% of the s character and 75% will be your p character that is going to be found over here. So the 4 hybrid orbitals so formed, they are directed towards the 4 corners of the regular tetrahedron. So what structure or what geometry do they show? They show regular tetrahedron structure, right? And the angle between the two sp3 hybrid, it is always 109 degrees 28 prime. So this is the angle that is going to be formed. What is this angle? 109 degree 28 prime, right? And the structure somewhat formed will be like this. As I told you, all the 4 sides it is going to form. And the angle that will be formed between them will be 109 degrees 28 prime. I hope this is clear. I forgot to draw the negative ones. Right. So this is what is the sp3 hybrid orbital, which looks like this. So some of the examples are like your methane, or the ones which have the lone pair, for example ammonia, water. So these are all the examples where we are going to study sp3 hybridization. So I'm thinking of teaching you only till sp3 hybridization. 2-3 more are left, along with some calculation work. We will do it in the next video. Okay, so let's study about methane firstly. So if we are talking about the methane molecule, we already know that carbon configuration is what? carbon configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. That is, one will go to X and one will go to Y, right? So in the ground state, it has two unpaired orbitals, right? For example, so in the ground state, let's see, this is your 2s, 2p, 2s2, 2p2, 1 and 1. So what did I tell you over here? That in the ground state, this carbon has two unpaired orbitals which can form only two covalent bonds. Now to get tetravalency, the 2s orbital, it is unpaired and the electron will shift where? To the pz orbital, right? So now let us look at the excited state of it. As I said, what? This electron is going to jump to the 2p orbital. And so now what do you see? 1s and 3 p orbitals are taking part in the hybridization, and therefore we term it as sp3 hybridization. Okay, the structure that you are going to see, I have already shown it to you. So let us see the structure of methane, the formation of the methane molecule. It is something like this. Okay, this is carbon, this is carbon, this is H and H, and the angle formed is how much? I told you 109 degrees 28 prime. Okay, so let's see the structure of this. Carbon, this is your carbon. Okay, this is your hydrogen, hydrogen and hydrogen, and you can see the pairing over here. So I hope the structure is clear. The methane formula molecule formation is very clear to all of you. Now let us move to the geometry of some molecules which contain lone pairs. For example, ammonia and water. Let's talk about ammonia here, and I'll talk about water over here. Okay, so let's talk about ammonia first. So in ammonia, nitrogen atom, it undergoes which hybridization? sp3 hybridization, and forms how many? 3 plus 1, 4 hybrid orbitals. 3 of the hybrid orbitals, they contain 1 electron each, while the fourth one has a pair of electrons. Okay, so these 3 hybrid orbitals having 1 electron each, they overlap with the 3 hydrogen atoms and they form the 3 sigma bonds, while the 1 lone pair of the fourth hybrid orbital, it remains unused. So if I show it to you, the ground state of nitrogen atom configuration, you know, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So this is 2s, 2p, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you can see that the p orbital, they are half filled, right? So what does it show? It shows sp3 hybridization. Okay. So now let us see the hybrid orbitals of nitrogen. Hybrid orbitals of nitrogen are what? Somewhat they are like this, with the 2 lone pair, isn't it so? Now what will happen? The hydrogen atom, 3 hydrogen atoms are going to overlap with the nitrogen. So where will they overlap? They will overlap here and you will see the bonding here. Okay, so the expected angle, that should be how much? 109 degree 28 prime, as I had told you earlier. But over here the actual angle that is forming in ammonia is 106 degree 45 prime. In some books it is 107 degrees. Now why is it so? It is because of the repulsion between the lone pair and the bond pairs, right? Due to which the distortion of the shape occurs, and thus ammonia, it forms what kind of a structure? What geometry does it show? It shows pyramidal structure, right? Ammonia shows pyramidal structure. I hope about ammonia it's clear. Now let's talk about water. So let's look at the ground state of oxygen atom. Okay, so I hope you know how to do the configuration. Okay, so this is 2s2p. So 2s2 and 2p is how much? 4. So it will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so now what kind of a hybridization is this? S, all the 3, 2 half filled and 1 filled, all 3 are participating in the hybridization. So it is going to show us sp3 hybridization. Okay, so now let us look at the hybrid orbitals of oxygen. They are something like this. Right, and this has a lone pair over here and one more lone pair is here. Now hydrogen will overlap with the other 2. Okay, and this overlapping shows the formation of water. So over here you will see that this is oxygen, this and this, they have a lone pair. This is the hydrogen and this is the hydrogen and this is your oxygen, right? So water molecule, as we studied in the previous video, it shows what kind of a structure? It shows V-shaped structure. What kind of a structure does it show? V-shaped structure. Okay, so I stop over here. Now other hybridizations we are going to study in the next video. Okay, thank you.